Yes,
So
sir.
we get to see him more than four or five times a year. If you want to see him more, you might see him more. But he's a busy man, so don't bother him too much. That's a major blessing and a mercy from Allah to us to have him here with us. And there's a lot of good things going on. We try to update as much as we can on the Mosque website. So don't forget about the using your app to just one touch and go straight to the Mosque website. Last time I looked at it, it was over 1,500 users that are using that app, and that's a great blessing. That means we're connected. And those users in our community, one of the great blessings that we have is that we're a unique community. We're not like a lot of people. We're new people. That's what the interest is in us. That's why people listen when we talk and talk about us. Because they say, you know how they talk about the carbon copy, and if you put 100 copies of something out, you see one, you ain't interested in seeing the rest. But when that one come out different from all the rest, everybody want to know what is that, you know?
Yes, sir.
Let me read that, I didn't get a copy of that. So this is one beautiful thing that we have about us, that when you hear 20,000 people coming to the Mosque site, best believe that's your brother and sister.
Alhamdulillah.
That's you connecting with what you identify with. So that's a great blessing and mercy from Allah. The language of Imam W.D. Muhammad. I always hear people say that, and I try not to repeat stuff that I hear other people say all the time. You know, I don't care where it came from. My father was that way. The Quran was his source. And Allah and his messenger was his source that he backed up everything up against. And I don't care how many times the whole crowd could tell, the community could tell me, how many times did Imam Muhammad say my language? You know. And I thought about it, I said, that don't sound like my father's character, I never heard him. But we affectionately say the language of Imam W.D. Muhammad. Yeah. Because when I think about it, what really brought it to mind is somebody said something to me about my book. I said, I ain't talking about the book Imam, the books that the publication produced. They're like, oh, this is an insult. I'm like, your problem ain't with me, it's with Allah. I didn't write no book. That's Allah's book you got a problem with. Not me, not my book. Your book say this, your book say that. You know. No, that ain't me, I ain't wrote no books. And Imam Muhammad didn't write no language. Everything he got it from inspiration from Allah or from his message. That's one thing. The other thing that came to mind, I was thinking to myself, I said, wow, this is a great mercy. This is a life that Imam Muhammad has passed in 2008, but he's still breathing life into our society. And I thought about it. I said, out of negative things, there's always some positive things. Brother looked at me funny, because they know how we are, how, you know, African Americans, how we reject a lot of people. And he was of the Jew. He didn't look at me funny, but I just felt it. He wasn't of our faith. And I said, I got a lot of heroes, you know, that you represent, you know. And they thinking, they said, what the hell? I said, no, I found a lot of good in your people, a lot of good. And they my heroes. Yes, I ain't gonna lie, they helped shape and build some of my character. Yes, you know, or make me who I am. You know, but we have to look for the good in things and the positive in things. So I hear about, you know, now it's legal for in almost all the states in the country for like sex to marry, right? Yeah. And we still using this old language of master, no, Mr., Mrs., Mrs., right? That means like that's an old sign of respect to say ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Yeah. That's an old sign of respect. But my father, when we were young in the house, and I'm a witness, and it was fresh. So my sister's about 10 years older than me. So this is something he started when I was a little boy. Allah inspired him to say, you know, he said, don't say yes sir, no sir. He said that sounds too, and I think it was around 75. Too what?
Slavery.
He didn't use the word slavery. He said too. He might have said authoritative. That's what I picked up as a kid, and I carried with like he is sold, he said, I'm your daddy. He said yeah, but this was when me and my siblings, we have an old daddy and a new daddy. You know, the old daddy, he didn't take no mess. You know what I mean? And so the old daddy and then the new daddy, well, you almost have to chuckle when he responds, because before you turn white as a ghost, and I'm dark skinned. You see somebody disrespectful, say the wrong thing in front of daddy, it scared the hell out. It scared me. I don't know about the rest of the kids, but the new daddy, you could say whatever you wanted to say, and you know he'd look at you, and I say that they're gonna regret that, and I'll be thinking in my mind like you're gonna regret that. But he said he looked at me, and I felt the fear of God is natural, and he said, "Call me dad." He said, "Yes, daddy" to me. He said, "Don't say yes, sir, no, sir." And you say say yes. Say yes, mommy, to your mother. And he didn't get no explanation. He just gave orders and did what. But then he explained later, I don't know, in a different set of scene, is that it's more accurate and more realistic. Like, so why are you saying yes, sir, and no, sir, and yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am? And even today is more effective today than ever because sexual status don't have a role. So why should I know whether this is a Mrs. or Ms. or, and I'm a kid in school. I should be saying yes, teacher, and no, teacher. You teacher so-and-so. That's who you are. I ran that by, I ain't going to say no names, but I ran that by a teacher, and she said, I don't know if I want people to call me teacher. And I said, let's sink in. Yeah, she ain't. She wasn't. I'm not going to put nothing out there because somebody will take this tape right to it, and I have a problem. But anyway, but I'm sure she thought about it because she showed me nothing but love now. But people ain't gonna give you credit. So I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start a petition. I said, I don't do it out here. I'm gonna do it online. I'm gonna ask all the public schools and all of the teachers to think about updating because the thing that we have a problem with is respect from African American people and young blacks, boys. They say they disrespectful, no respect for life. This is another big lie. We have a lot of respect for life. The killing is they doing of the evil doing of devil's hands in the lives of African American people. We were produced in a slave making factory that was designed to self-destruct and destroy us completely. But the black people do have a respect for life and love life more than anybody else, and love family and love people. That's why we can walk into a public place, see a black person, ain't never seen him before. He could be in a sea of white people. We're going to run to that guy, and we're going to hang with him for the rest of the day, right? Because that's our brother. Right? No other races do that. You see one Asian in a sea of black folks and another Asian, they might not even look at each other. Same thing with white folks. They might not even look at each other. But black folks, we stick together. We used to say that. Didn't we say black folks? So don't let them tell that lie about the killing is happening because we don't respect life. We love life. Yes, man.
I'm down having that experience now driving Uber, and sometimes I wind up in a Caucasian neighborhood, and I see one brother, we immediately wave at each other. I ain't never seen it before.
Like, if you don't see me come back this way, look for me or tell somebody you saw me. Because, it's funny now, things have changed. And I got a different perspective. Imam Mohammed said perspective. Perception is very, very powerful. It's a chief educator in the nature of the person, if that's the right way to put it. How you perceive things is how how that thing is gonna benefit you in one way or another. I see angry people that express themselves less dangerous than the one thing. The snake that's in the grass is way more dangerous than the one that you saw slithering out in the open under the bright light, the one that's hidden. So the one that shout the N-word and yells at you, instead of yelling something, other vulgar expression back at them, you're supposed to just say, good day. Because it's that snake at work there. It's the one that you sit with every day that'll get you fired. Or make your wife leave you. Take some phony pictures of you somewhere with a beautiful woman and you grin because you like beautiful women and get you divorced or something like that. That's the snake. And they come there and console you after your wife leaves you and say, now you can party with me all the time. So that one that expresses himself, he ain't dangerous. He ain't dangerous at all. Yeah. So, but I thought about that. I said perception. And Imam has given us, through his example, he never wastes words. Because if he did, they would be able to go and put a tape together of things he said over the years and make him look like a fool. They can't touch him. He has the protection Allah said the Quran is protected in heaven. I think Imam Mohammed is protected also in heaven. Because they can't touch him. They still can't touch him. Everything he do breathe life into the world. Good like make flowers spring up. Fruit develop in dead earth.
That's right.
be bearing heavy fruit, you know?
That's right.
That's real, man. That's real. I thought about that. I said, wow, make me feel powerful. I walked up, you know, and I'm like, I said, you know what? I said, when I think about it, when I grew up, I always called all the teachers, teacher this or teacher that, because that's what they are.
Yes, sir.
You know, you see a fool, you say fool this or fool that, but you're a teacher, you're a high, you know. I said, you know what? My children, they have 5 children. None of them ain't never said yes sir or no sir. Would you rather when you call your child Abdullah or Ahmed or whoever your child is, you call their name and they say what? Would you rather them say what or yes dad? Yes dad? Every time my father called my name, I said yes daddy. Every time my mother called my name, yes mommy, not what. But most kids, that's what they say, what? Okay. Nah, you don't want them yelling what at you. The teacher don't want the kid yelling what? Huh? What? You want them to say yes teacher, no teacher, or yes madam, yes ma'am, or yes sir. My wife told me about it. She said, don't call nobody madam. I said, okay, I won't. But alhamdulillah, we got an excellent program. We have our beloved brother here. He's going to represent him. That's your wife, right? Your daughter, your wife.
Yes, sir. Brother Ali Muhammad.
Yeah, Brother Ali Muhammad. Yeah. And I'm going to stop taking up all his time, and I'll see you all, inshallah, after the presenter. If the ma'am has something to share with us, he might share with us. But, yeah, this is what the biggest thing we can do as a group is to try to see the world through the eyes of Imam W.D. Muhammad. He was the best of us.
Yes, sir.
And if we can see the world how he saw it, then we can help the world and help the world change to be better. Inshallah. Thank you.